missed the centre line completely. Okay, that's us lined up. Check the brake temperature. We're all good there. Get the clearance. We've got clearance. We're just assuming that clearance has been given. Set the TCAS on. We're gonna. It looks like we're squawking 4703. Switch the air compacts off, just in case there's an engine fire on takeoff. The air conditioning systems uses air from the engines, so we don't want to get smoke filling the cabin or the cockpit. Switch the landing lights on. Come on, switch on. Here we go. Set the nose light to take off. I'm going to get the wing lights and the logo lights on as well, because we're awesome and we want everyone to see that we are. Okay, I'm going to release the brakes and then set the throttles to here, which is flex, which will put the engines in a managed mode into auto throttle should switch on, and we should get our 83.3% thrust on N1 based on the flex temperature. Okay, well I'm not going to talk on zero because this is where it normally goes wrong for me. Why have I got a master caution? Okay, there's no blue, all green, no blue. Also, I think the brake fan should be on as well. Okay. You'll see two green lines here. The idea is to keep this square, to get the two lines in a cross, and to keep this little square here in the middle of that cross. Once I take off, I'm going to wait till I get to around 700 to 1,000 feet, and I'm going to engage autopilot 1, and then I'll do my after takeoff checklist. Or I may do that on the way up. Anyway, this is where it all goes wrong, so all this recording could have been for nothing, because I might crash the plane now. So here we go. You'll hear some clicks. I think it's 3 clicks up to flex. I'm pointing at the screen here. If you look down here, you'll see flex or something like that. Once the flex is achieved, I think the first officer says power set or something like that. Okay, I'm going to increase the engine thrust to 50% and allow them to stabilize. Okay, engine stabilize. There we go, we have flex.
Power set.
More left, more left. That was because I was changing my view. That's okay, we're good, we're good.
.100 knots. V1. Rotate.
We've got major crosswinds.
Positive climb. Gear up.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to reduce the throttle to climb. Engage autopilot 1.
Cross-checked. Speed is not okay for next flaps position.
Okay, that was me trying to retract the flaps. As you can see, we're all over the place here. I might be shouting because the engines are screaming. We're all over the place here. And I'll switch the air packs.
Standard barrow cross-check.
I think the transition altitude.
Passing flight level 0, 2, 4.
I'm having to wait for the speed to increase before I can raise the flaps, otherwise the aircraft might stall. As you can see, it's leveling us out to get the speed up.
Speed check.
That's the and that's
Flaps 0.
That's the flaps up. Okay. After takeoff checklist. Positive climb gear up, gear is up. Ground spoilers disarmed.
Ground spoilers disarmed.
Autopilot AP1 is on. Thrust levers set to climb. Flaps are up. Air compacts are on. And that's it. Initial climb checklist. Anti-ice as required. We don't need anti-ice. Altimeter QNH set, which happens to be standard. Passing 10,000 feet, switch the landing lights and the nose light off. Okay, so you can see the autopilot's going to follow our flight path now. This is executing the star. Our first altitude restriction. Oh my god, it's trying its hardest to maintain. We got underneath.
Spoilers have.
I'm just going to put the spoilers out to try and help us maintain 250 knots, under 10,000 feet. It's by law you need to.
Ground spoilers disarmed.
You need to stay under or at 250 knots. Our first altitude restriction is 5,000 feet, as you can see here, which we will level out at. I've actually never flown. That's the engines going down just because we're reaching our altitude. I've never flown this aircraft in such heavy winds before. You can see, you could tell by the absolutely dismal takeoff. Okay, we're all good though. Speed's good. We're at their altitude constraint. We're on nav. Flight direct's on. AP1 auto are on. Flaps are up. Speed brakes are not on. Gear is up. That can come off. Landing light's still on, that's okay. And we're flying. Yeah, it's having a little bit of trouble holding on to our route. I'm sure and our altitude. I'm sure the real autopilot doesn't have this problem. That is the real autopilot in the real plane. The next version of this is version 1.4 of this aircraft. The version 1.5 is being tested right now. That will give you terrain on the navigation display, which would be cool. I'd really like them to put weather on the navigation display, but we'll just have to wait and see about that. Oh, I wouldn't be happy on this fly if I was in the back. Airbus run a dark cockpit principle, so if there are any white lights up here on buttons, obviously not that, then that's something you need to pay attention to, which allows you to just take a quick glance up at the overhead panel and make sure everything's okay. I'm probably going to video the climb, and then once we hit top of climb and we go into the cruise, I will stop recording and cut to the top of descent, because the cruise is just going to be, but nobody's going to want to watch the cruise. Who'd want to watch the cruise? It'd be boring. Plus, I'm not sure I've got the hard drive space to record that much video. It's having a real hard time maintaining it. It's not doing too bad. We're not descending, are we? No. That's the thing about it. This is why you got instruments at night, because it looks to me as though we're descending, when in fact we're straight and level. We seem to have cleared whatever horrors were back there. Things are leveling out now. When do we start climbing? Currently on our way to Sander. That's where the flight restriction of 050, 5,000 feet is. After that, we can start climbing. By Hon, we'll have reached flight level 274, which is 27,400 feet, and then by the top of the climb, obviously, 31,500 feet, sorry. And we go through Cowley, Ward, SFD, Wahoo, Hardy, and then we hit our top of descent. It's at that point, maybe 10 miles in from top of descent, I'll start recording again, and we'll film the descent and the approach. And hopefully I won't smash this thing into the ground, which will be a plus. Okay, we're doing good now. We're good. No, now that we've only got to fly in a straight line, we good. Where's that? Okay, oh, here we go. Here's Samba. Okay, so we should start climbing any minute up to our cruise altitude of 31,500 feet. There's a little bit of my video being ruined by Oliver there. Brilliant. Awesome. Okay, here we go. Engines are at 89. Oh, I thought Flex gave us 83.3. Okay, obviously calculated that wrong. Anyway, you can yeah, there's another thing about this aircraft. It skyrockets. I'm pretty sure they don't climb at 6,000 feet a minute in real life. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, if I can set a vertical speed, but seriously, I don't think they climb it. So when I'm on a plane, I do not hear the engine screaming like this. Or maybe I'm just not listening. Once we go past 10,000 feet, I can switch the landing lights off and the nose light. Also, once we hit 10,000 feet, the plane will level off, so it can pick up speed to our climb speed above 10,000 feet, and then it will continue its climb, because, like I said, under 10,000 you've got to be at 250 knots. Okay, we're coming up on 10,000. Switch the landing lights off. Switch the nose light off. And the plane's probably going to level out now. Will probably get me. You don't want to hear your pilot saying probably. It's probably going to do this. Probably going to do that. Okay, here we go. Okay, the speed's going to increase now. I think to maybe 310 knots. Look at that, 320. This flight might be a little less time than I calculated then. Only by a bit. Okay, now we're at our target speed and start our climb again. Very dark outside. Oh, I can set I know that the Q&H at Charles de Gaulle is currently 1014. Temperature is 23 degrees. And the wind is 340 at 5 knots. That was really loud. Seems to be burning a bit more fuel in the right engine. Again, like I said, I'm putting links in the bottom if you want to skip. And there are links to the top of descent from here, and probably final approach. Because this this is not terribly interesting to watch, I know. Oh, damn it, every time. There's no point in starting it now. When you, I think it's, I'm not sure if it's from engines on or from when you take off, you're supposed to hit the chrono, and it's times the length of the journey. I did not do that, and I never have, not once, not yet. "10,000 feet to go." Okay, we should be at flight level 274 by the time... Okay, I think I may have some issues with the scenery in Charles de Gaulle. God, I thought XPlane had crashed then after all this recording. Anyway, as I was saying, we should hit on flight level 274, which is 27,400 feet. See if that happens when we cross over this. Not a chance. I must be doing something wrong. Either that or there's a bug in the flight management computer. It has trouble maintaining the descent as well. When you go into a managed descent, you get a little magenta ball here, and if it's here, you're too low on your managed glide slope. Not the glide slope, but descent path, I guess. And if it's here, you're too high, and yeah, it can't maintain that either. It's currently about 2,400 feet below where we should be. Well, that's okay. This line is supposed to be our top of climb. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be. I don't know though, it could be. 6,000 feet to go. Climb, and I think that was 6 minutes, 320 knots. I don't know. I think we might. I don't think we're going to make that. Well, looks like we might make it in time. That's good. Don't know why we didn't. I don't know why we didn't hit that then. Flight level 274 by on. Flight management computer is saying there's 15 miles to it, whereas the navigation display is saying just 110. Oh. No, we're not going to make it. Only just though, only just missed it. Here we go, coming up on cruise altitude. 1,100 to go. I think when we get there, this altitude should turn to green, this climb should go away. An 8-degree cross, 8-knot crosswind. 460 knots over the ground. I don't see how that is, being that we're doing, our indicated airspeed is 290. There we go. Going up on altitude, and we've got a crosswind that's got a bit of a headwind component. I don't see how we're doing 452 knots ground speed. It's odd. Perhaps somebody can tell me. I haven't yet, love, but I'm about to. Come on, nudge her up. I know, I'll turn it. Oh, right, okay. I thought you said turn it on. Okay, well we are now at cruise. I'm going to stop recording here, and I'll start recording again just before we hit top of descent.